reigning series champion Nathan Reynolds, Season 4 Rocket Man Memorial winner Kyle Zittel are in control of the field. We are underway at Daytona. Season 7 officially gets the green flag.
Good start for most of the field up front here. Spread out in the back, but that's to be expected. Probably a lot of drivers just wanting to hang out right now as Kyle Zittel straight to the lead with the help of Carson Mitchell.
Mitchell and Garrett Rainey all get clear on Nathan Reynolds. That might also be by design. 3 of those 4 trucks on the bottom there are teammates. Actually, scratch that, they're all teammates. Mitchell is part of Superkick Revival Racing, so that very much could have been a coordinated effort. Zittel has led a lot of laps here at Daytona. But Holyfield might be able to get clear, and he is going to move down. Froman clear as well.
Whoa, barely. I'm not sure Froman is clear. He almost had to clear himself.
He second-guessed it for sure. It was going to be tight.
Now that outside lane really starting to lose numbers. Here come pit stops.
I was going to say, Andy Poliski just keyed up that time. Pit stops underway. Gunter, Zittel, Mitchell, Vroman, Gainey, Peterson. A lot of drivers. John Kay, Garrett Rainey, Gary Clark, Cole Maxwell, Jan Van Leer, Ryan Dye, Ryan Borboom. Be easier to tell you who didn't pit.
It's going to be way easier. There's only 7 drivers that didn't come down pit road. I think Poliski tried to get around him. Either that or it was a push from Poliski that put him down there.
I will say, right after pit stops concluded and these guys all found themselves together, Poliski did say to somebody, I'm going to push you for all you're worth. Let me know if it gets too sketchy. Carson Mitchell trying to get back to the lead. Taking Ryan Borboom. Oh, lock it! Contact! He's going to save it, but where is he going to go?
Wow, he finds an opening, but he's awful slow on the track. King of
McKinnon. Borboom tags Holyfield, sends him into the inside wall. Oh, man, that is just heartbreaking.
Oh, contact with Logan.
Oh,
Corey
Mitchell. How did they save that? Caution is out.
Oh, big wreck behind.
I was going to say, somebody had to wreck out of that one. Paul Sargent involved. Tyler
Andy
Berger,
Poliski.
looks like. Andy Poliski again. Boy, rough night for Season 5 champ. Tyler Logan to the lead at Daytona in his first career start with help from Mitchell and Stearns.
And where did Chad Stearns come from? He was up front to begin. He left for a long time, and here he is again pushing Carson Mitchell.
Now Mitchell.
Oh!
Back to the top! Contact! Oh, there they go. Oh, that is a big ride for Michael Dean up into the catch fence. This is going to take 10, 12, maybe 15 trucks. Ryan Foreman piles into the mix. Zittel looking for any way to get around Nathan Paluota. Carson Mitchell is now clear. Down. That's the front 4 trucks on the top side.
There goes Mitchell.
Takes it. Not one to wait. And Paluota going to move down to the bottom now as well. Big shot from Carson. One more lap to go. Paluota leading Mitchell. Reynolds and Zittel looking for one more big push. Oh,
contact!
Into Zittel! That is everybody! Kenneth Graves might sneak through. No! Salamone through the grass is second. Nathan Paluota all by his lonesome out front. Brody Gunter is through as well. Jan Van Leer is snuck through as well. The battling is on for second. But Nathan Palawoda, for the second Super Speedway race in a row, he makes it through the carnage. Palawoda to the line to win it.
And a lot of netcode here. Reynolds is trying to push Kyle Zittel off the corner to get that big run. Zittel gets pushed down towards Mitchell a tad. Zittel trying to come back up the racetrack, 2 feet in between them. Big netcode is what initiates the initial incident. And you mentioned it. Everybody, I mean, Mitchell comes down and tags. Man, Logan nearly got through there as well. As we're coming through here, you see Salamone way down through the grass, trying to get in front of everybody else. And he ends up doing it. He's got Gunter right there behind him.
Palawoda ran a great closing stretch to this race. It was masterful, dare I say. It was very convincing performance out front.
Yeah, he certainly did what he needed to do. Blocked at all the right times.
After some super speedway shenanigans last week, it's another big track, but this time we're throwing in some right turns as well, and a couple of extra turns in the mix here, compared at least to what the drivers are used to here at virtual upstate New York. It's the 4th visit to Watkins Glen in Venom Truck Series history, but for the very first time, both in series history and here on Turn 200, it is the boot layout of the Glen. And what better way to christen this momentous occasion than by saying F you to breast cancer? Tonight is the Give Breast Cancer the Boot 220K. Round number 2 of the 7th season of the Venom Truck Series keeps the gas firmly pressed down as these drivers have to navigate 40 laps around the Glen here tonight on Turn 200. It's Tommy Cook here. The GOAT Matt Williamson is just wrapping up his wine tasting from the various vineyards around Watkins Glen. He'll be up here in booth 200 getting ready to take in Thunder Road momentarily. And you just saw the highlights from last week at Daytona for the Rocket Man 85. If you were not watching it live or just wanted to see all of the insanity that was that final lap all over again, after the drop of the checkers last week, the point standings look pretty similar to how they finished, but a couple of notables have mixed up the points just a little bit. Of course, Nathan Palawoda, with his first career Venom Truck Series victory, leads the points. Nathan Reynolds, with a couple of bonus points, has moved him up a spot from where he finished, moves Jan Van Leer down to 5th. There's a tie for 2nd, thanks to some lap-led bonus points for Brody Gunter. He and Will Salamone share that 2nd position. Just how different can an additional 4 turns make a circuit? Well, it added nearly a mile in length to this formerly 7-turn track, and Matt Williamson and I will lay out all of the differences for you in great detail when we come back. Venom Truck Series is around the turn on Turn 200.
A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Road not open here about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
The ASRL Southern Shores Realty Sports Car Championship, live tomorrow from Hereth Circuit, only on Turn 200. feature presentation. Welcome back to live coverage of the Venom Truck Series here on Turn 200. It's Tommy Cook. It's Matt Williamson. Welcome in to Virtual Watkins. Glen, Matt, you got a couple of turns here before we're going to throw it to a lap with the reigning series champion Nathan Reynolds. But how are we doing tonight? How are we feeling?
Feeling pretty good. I mean, you and I talked about it yesterday. Excited to be here at Watkins Glen, the boot version, which is very prevalent in the title of the race, which is always nice that they include that in there as well. So, yeah, I'm very excited. I think we're in for a good one here.
Absolutely. Nathan Reynolds, I'm hoping he's going to stay on the track here. He sure is. Let's take a lap around Watkins Glen, the boot version, with Nathan here in warm-up. And most of this course, especially the first 3/4 of it, is the same as what you would expect. '90 into the S's. Reynolds a winner here in the very first Venom Truck Series race at the regular layout of Watkins Glen. Finished second here last season. Long straight, some shenanigans in front of him, but that won't slow him down any as he heads into the bus stop. Now this is where it's different. This is the carousel. You change your brake point, you change your steering angle a little bit, get off, and here we go to the boot. A downhill left-hander, and we keep going downhill. We go downhill for quite some time here. This is the lowest point on the course. This right-hander, the toe. The toe gives way to the actual boot straight itself, headed back to the right-hander. The heel decidedly uphill. This heel, or this boot rather, up into the heel. And the climb continues here. Or I guess the Achilles, although it's not labeled that. The left-hander back onto the regular back straightaway, and then you resume your normal lap. Getting ready for what normally would be turn 6 tonight. It's turn 11. And then the right-hander to bring you back home. 12 turns. It's normally 2.45 miles. Tonight it's 3.4 miles. And adding almost a mile to this layout adds about 40 seconds or so. Actually, yeah, about 40 seconds or so. Normal laps here around 114. That lap there by Nathan Reynolds was a 155. So you wouldn't think that a mile would add that much, but it certainly does.
Yeah, it adds quite a bit. I mean, it changes the complexion of the race by quite a bit. We'll get into that here a little bit later, as we are not too terribly long from gridding, and we're going to get to the starting lineup. But yeah, I'd like to talk about the track a little bit more after we get going, because it certainly changes quite a few aspects of the racing here.
Nathan Reynolds snuck through all the chaos last week to come out with a pretty decent result, all things considered, and now wants to be back on the top step here for the first time in Season 7 at Watkins Glen, but he'll have 40 laps to try and get it done, and he'll have a pretty hungry driver coming off of his second career podium, looking for his first career win. Brody Gunter will line up on the outside pole, outside of the reigning series champion. Matt Schlosser's second week in a row, he's been third quickest in qualifying, and now he'll actually get to keep his third starting position as he will roll off from the inside of row number 2. Nathan Palawota, last week's big winner of the Rocket Man Memorial 85, will start in the 4th position. John Kay won this race last season, although again, it was the regular Watkins Glen layout, not the boot. He starts back on the inside of row number 3 with Luke Peterson to his outside, starting 6th. Andy Poliski, podium finisher here last season, starts in 7th. Kyle Zittel, pretty decent qualifying run there, starting in 8th. And then your top 10 is rounded out by Eric Breeding, who finished top 5 in both road course races last season. And Tyler Logan, who was found at home with Pony Express. He leads them in qualifying in 10th. Paul Ellison won here back in Season 4. He rolls off in 11th. Blanky Roberts has finished 8th in both of his Watkins Glen career appearances. He starts 12th tonight. Mark Dillon Jr., Michael Krawls on row number 7. Jan Van Leer, Garrett Rainey on row 8. Michael Dean, Steve Roman on row 9, and Will Salamoni and Pascal Samar, your top 20 starters. 35 trucks here tonight. We'll scroll through the rest of the starting lineup. Matt Williamson, what do we got here in terms of strategy and track conditions?
Our fuel window here tonight is about 20 to 24 laps. We have 40 laps, so just going to split that in half, probably be a one-stop race. 0 fast repairs. You do have 3 extra sets of tires. Not expecting any cautions, and there is no incident limit here.
It's just about noon in the sim. Pretty generous track conditions here in virtual upstate New York as we are underway and we start barreling down towards the 90. Gunter really sends it in there, nearly piles into the back of Reynolds.
Wow, the action has started early. That was awful close.
Oh, trouble in the back. One truck has gone around. I think it was Corey Rutherford off the front bumper of Jeremy McKinnon or Oz Kanar.
Oh, wow. Schlosser makes a great pass around the outside here into the bus stop. That is a tough place.
That's to hang on to the 3rd position. Paluota started to hound him, and speaking of hounding, Gunter all over Reynolds here, headed into the boot for the first time.
And this is a little bit of a redemption race for Gunter. If you remember, last time the Venom Truck Series was here at Watkins Glen, which in all reality really was not that long ago. Gunter was running well, and then the sim disconnected on him. It gave Brody Gunter the boot, if you will. So he is looking to capitalize here tonight, and a little bit of a redemption race for the 01.
Well, Gunter here is certainly pushing the issue. He is absolutely actively seeking to get around Nathan Reynolds here in the opening lap.
John Kay in 5th right now, was trying to get through on Paluota, is still right behind the 6 here.
Paluota had a pretty solid top 10 run here last season as well.
Much different corner entry for Paluota there. Kay is going to have a little bit of a run, probably not enough.
Gunter applying pressure again up front, actually got a hold of the rear bumper of the 38 there into the 90. Still right here with him through the S's.
And what I wanted to mention about the boot, one of the main things is when you're coming through the carousel, Gunter looks to the inside here. Oh.
On driver's right through the bus stop, Gunter looking to take the top spot. He's loose. Reynolds might be able to hang tough on the outside here, and that would give him positioning into the left-hander. But Gunter with great drive out of the carousel assumes the race lead.
Wow. He had to work awful hard for that one, too. Now John Kay and Paluota continue to battle. Kay on the inside of the left-hander downhill. Now needs to clear, and does, into the right-hander. And here comes Andy Poliski.
As that battle for the lead happened, they slowed each other down quite a bit. Matt Schlosser is now right here with the top 2. Poliski looking to the outside here, maybe trying to swing underneath. And will, but this will put him again on the outside for this left-hander coming up. Paluota will have the preferred positioning.
Ryan Dye in the chat says that was a big boy move from Brody Gunter. It certainly was. And now Poliski still trying to find a way around Palawoda. A little bit loose there. And all of a sudden, Kyle Zittle's right here now.
How about Zittle looking underneath of Poliski? Oh, a little bit wide. Contacts. Andy will hang on to it. Zittle up here. Scrapping away for 6th. As Palawoda puts some distance between he and Poliski. Poliski did not get to do any battling at all here last season. Finished 3rd on Poliski Island. Was 30 seconds up to the next closest truck, 30 seconds back to the closest truck behind. But now here he is again on the prowl, looking to get up to spot number 5, trying to overtake last week's winner, Nathan Palawoda. John Kay has closed in on Matt Schlosser. They're several truck lengths away now.
Oh, Poliski pretty loose there.
There's a lot we want to talk about here, but the battling has been so good here these first few laps, we can't get to any of it.
I know.
Here's Poliski. Big dive to the inside of Palawoda, who's loose. Nathan hangs onto it and hangs onto the spot as well. But man, he is still all sorts of wiggly here, trying to get out of the boot. With P5 intact, another big wiggle there.
And he's held up Poliski now. It's allowed a bunch of trucks to kind of line up behind them.
Poliski going to get it done this time into turn 12. Move Andy Poliski now into P5. Purple lap of the race for Nathan Reynolds, who has gotten right back up to the back of the 01.
Boy, we're going to be watching this pack, I think, all night here. John Kay's right here behind Schlosser as well. Go ahead and go on board. This is through the carousel now. One thing I wanted to point out is this is a prime passing position when you would be heading into the Cup layout, turn 6. That is one of the big passing points here at Watkins Glen, and that has been pretty much eliminated from being a passing spot, or at least in the same way that it usually is. You see Kay right underneath of Schlosser, not able to get it done there. Boy, the force feedback on John Kay's wheel is awful strong. It was bouncing the camera that he has on.
Schlosser, much like you see right there, has been lighting up these rear tires. They've been awfully bouncy. We got a hi big boy in chat, and a hello to you, Michael. Lap 5 on the board. Gunter leading Reynolds, but not by much. Schlosser tried to hang on to 3rd, but John Kay hounded him. Poliski again, sort of in no man's land. At least for now, about 5 seconds behind John Kay. Palawoda's sort of gotten back on his horse here, and leading this long line of trucks.
And speaking of Nathan Reynolds, thank you to Nathan Reynolds at Car Inside for sponsoring the Car Inside cameras. You just saw John Kay. This is Nathan himself. Also have Corey Rutherford and Jan Van Leer helping us out with cameras here tonight. We'll see some more of them a little bit later on.
Yeah, Rutherford, I'm not sure exactly how it came to be, but he got spun in the first turn of this race and is done a pretty decent job trying to recover from that. Started 21st, went all the way to the tail of the field, and now is back up to 25th.
Oh, there goes Kyle Zittel!
Oh, man.
And Tyler Logan caught up in it as well. I didn't quite see how it started.
I think Logan got into the back of him as they were starting to slow down for the boot, the left-hander. Certainly it was an assist.
So Zittel and Logan will move back 5 or 6 positions now. Zittel all the way back to 14th. I believe he was running
7th
or 8th. So let's go ahead. This is the replay. Oh, and yeah, you're right. Definitely off the bumper of Logan. Zittel was getting slowed down, and Logan was still kind of gassed up there. So now Logan, who was doing well, trying to work his way up, now has to regroup, go after it again, currently behind Will Salamone.
And while we've got just a second here, you may notice not only the title of this race, but a lot of these trucks covered in pink here tonight. To give breast cancer the boot 220K. A fitting name, fitting cause. Everybody just about shelling out the pink or the pink trim or what have you. A lot of good-looking trucks here tonight. And a lot of special stories to go along with the special schemes. John Kay in particular, who was using, or we've used his truck in the thumbnail here, running in 4th, won this race last season. Running the Stand Up to Cancer scheme with the name Cindy Hill up on the name rail today. In memory of, I believe, his girlfriend's mother, who fought the battle against breast cancer. And everybody's affected by the big C, so we can all lean on each other for support here. Never gets much easier, but hopefully it can just be done one day. That would be fantastic.
You see a couple of others, Paul Ellison and Eric Breeding, sporting nice-looking trucks as well. Those two are battling for 8th. It's now become a 3-way battle between Kyle Zittel, Will Salamone, and Tyler Logan. No changes in position there. Then, of course, there's Jan Van Leer, who one of our car inside drivers tonight. Here's a look at Jan. Oh, and you see Vroman awful loose in front of him. This setup is pretty loose here.
Yes.
Drivers have been struggling, and you've been able to very clearly see it on the track.
Yeah, track temp only 92 degrees. It's fairly cloudy outside, so yeah, you don't really think of Watkins Glen as being a low grip track, but these guys were slip sliding around. Brody Gunter coming to put lap number 8 up on the board. It's about a 2.25 seconds lead over Nathan Reynolds. Matt Schlosser is still hanging on to 3rd. John Kay behind him in 4th. Andy Poliski 5th. Nathan Palawoda in 6th, Luke Peterson, Eric Breeding, Paul Ellison, and Flanky Roberts. Right now, your top 10. A couple of drivers close in the top 10, but no real challenges. About the closest battle on the track that we got is Jan Van Leer trying to track down Steve Roman.
And Tyler Logan's now gotten around Will Salamone. Salamone trying to fight back here. But you're right, the battles we've been watching continue to be the closest ones. Jan Van Leer and Steve Roman, and then of course Schlosser and John Kay still right here together. John Kay gonna take a peek to the inside through the carousel, but will be on the outside here. Sends it off into the corner though. Outbreaks Matt Schlosser.
That was an aggressive move there, and it pays off. John Kay to the podium.
Kay's got to be awful happy about getting that one over. Now, very much a clear track ahead of him, able to put in some laps. Hopefully, unharmed and just able to lock in here.
And nothing really for Matt Schlosser to worry about at this point as well. He's got about 6 seconds clearance on Andy Poliski. So Schlosser, in just his second race in the Venom Truck Series, can just log some laps and gear up for this pit stop, which should be coming here in probably 12 to 15 laps, I would imagine.
Wow, and you see Palawoda and Peterson out of turn 10 there, the Achilles of the boot, as you like to put it. Whoa, and Peterson still hanging it out there. And Michael Krall and Ryan Dye singing their praises of that move by John.
They're always yucking it up in the chat, aren't they?
Somebody always is.
We picked up 4 people that we didn't have at Daytona last week, but the trade-off for that is we lost 4 people that we had at Daytona last week. Ryan Dye is one of them. Wish Ryan was here, but at least he's in the chat. And of course, Palawoda, did he hit the wall there into the bus stop?
I'm not sure. I'm watching this battle between Van Leer and Vroman. Jan Van Leer was trying to pass Vroman. Oh, Vroman's right to the bus stop.
Way wide.
I think that was caused by the pressure from Jan, because Jan got to his outside through the S's. Boy, Vroman's in trouble now. He has this pack of Zittel, Logan, and Salamone right behind him, and they have been chomping at the bit to not only pass each other, but now Vroman has Zittel on the outside, now Logan on the outside, and here comes Salamone.
That is quite the gaggle here.
And now Salamone is able to get back around Tyler Logan.
So that puts the last week's runner-up finisher at Daytona up to 14th. Plenty more opportunities to make some big passes here. Yeah, Palawoda into the bus stop last time around just barely caught the very edge of the wall that sort of juts out by the rumble strips. But has since pulled away from Luke Peterson and has pulled back up to Andy Poliski. Here comes Salamone now to the inside of Steve Roman into the 90. And moves Salamone up to 13th.
Tyler Logan tried capitalizing on that as well.
He sure did.
Let Roman know that he's there. And a big mover of the race so far is Chad Stearns, who's running 17th. I don't think Stearns was either able to or elected not to put a qualifying lap in.
I believe he connected to the sim with about a minute left in qualifying, so that did not leave any time for a lap. But you're right, he's gone up 11 positions from where he gridded.
And of course, we know Stern's one of the best at tire management here in the series, so I'm sure as this run goes along, he'll be able to pick off a few more, even though he has quite a ways up to McKinnon in 16th.
So we're just about a quarter of a way complete with the Give Breast Cancer the Boot 220K. Brody Gunter comes this time to complete lap number 10, put lap number 11 up on the board. It's the same podium runners that we had for about the first quarter of last season's race here, just in a bit of a different order. Gunter leading Reynolds and Kay.
I don't know if we've mentioned it yet live. I know you and I talked about it beforehand, but Brody Gunter disconnect. Yeah, I talked about it. What am I saying? I did a whole bit about it. Yep, you know already.
Right as you went to bring it up, though, he did have one big blink. So,
oh dear,
I'm gonna say let's not talk about it.
Okay, well he's in the lead. That's all that matters.
Absolutely. Top four have really separated themselves from Andy Poliski in 5th. Just behind Poliski, Nathan Palawoda is back on his horse, tracking Poliski down. Luke Peterson then leads a pretty steady line of traffic behind him.
Yeah, Palawoda was under fire for a long time from multiple drivers. One of them was Luke Peterson, but now Palawoda, he just found his stride again here. And he's pulled right up to the back of Poliski.
Three drivers have elected to call it a night. Ethan Patterson, Paul Sargent, now just a few moments ago, Pascal Simard, who was running just inside of the top 20.
Oh, Palawoda's way wide.
Holy cow. That's one way to use the runoff. Finds himself immediately in a battle with Luke Peterson. Palawoda should have the drive out of the turn here with some dirty tires, albeit.
So all of that ground that Palawoda was able to make up between Peterson and Andy Poliski, he's now right back in the same position that he was previously.
Though Poliski is sort of backing up to this group here.
That is true. It's a 10-second gap now to Matt Schlosser for Poliski, so you are right. Poliski may be backing up a little bit here.
Yeah, despite the mess there from Palawoda, Poliski actually ran a slower lap time than Nathan last time around.
Should probably also mention this may be the biggest road course field we've had in the Venom Truck Series, at least since we've been a part of it. I don't know if I remember ever having 35 trucks start a road course race.
We were right at around 30, I do believe, last season here. I'll have to check on that. But this may very well be the biggest.
And you can see Peterson, and we've seen it all night from him already. The back end of that truck just wants to kick out at all times. Especially on corner exit.
We had 31 at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park last season. That may be the biggest, or may have been the biggest until tonight, which officially 34 took a green flag. Michael Crawl still is not among them, although he registered for the session, but he's here hanging out with us.
Salamone has now gotten around Vroman for now. Vroman's fought back. A little bit of a crossover move into the S's here.
These three have been fighting for a lot of laps.
Yes, they have.
Wow. Will is so loose there through the S's. And we'll just give that spot up to Tyler Logan.
Wow, yeah, lit those tires up and spun them pretty badly there.
Certainly did.
So now Vroman will have Logan behind him. And here comes Palawoda.
Palawoda to the right, through the toe, takes the
Oh,
spot.
wow! Poliski, that truck went completely sideways when he tried to get the power down.
That might open the door here for some more. Eric
Yeah.
Breeding behind.
Yeah, we missed Eric Breeding getting around Peterson.
Peterson may have had a problem because he's a full second behind this.
Now, Steve Vroman. Oh, as Logan right on his outside here.
Poliski coming to pit road here on lap 13.
Well, maybe the tire wear is a little bit more significant than we thought. Maybe it'll be a two-stop race. Because here comes Kyle Zittel as well.
Interesting.
And here comes... I take that back. Sorry. I'm not going to mention what happened there. Because we said that we wouldn't. We'll just put it that way.
Okay.
I saw a name on my lifetime and scoring go gray for a second.
Yeah.
Usually that means they go to the pits. Unfortunately for this driver, that was not the case.
Well, they're still here, though. Also, totally unrelated, Brody Gunter, the race leader.
He certainly is.
Doing a nice job. 7 seconds rather clear of Nathan Reynolds. Reynolds said he wasn't totally sure. He didn't put any laps in this week until this morning. Found the conditions in the sim itself, or rather in this session, to be a little bit more favorable than what he practiced on. So thought that might be an advantage for him. He's not leading right now, but he's still in second. That's a pretty good run.
Yeah, certainly good run, especially when you have Gunter, who is kind of a road course ringer here. Obviously, if you watch on Wednesdays, he's one of the very best in the GT3 class in the Southern Shores Realty ASRL Sports Car Championship. As here comes John Kay from third into pit. So definitely a two-stop race here tonight.
We'll see who's going to try and roll the dice and go for a one-stopper. Love mixing it up on pit strategy. Luke Peterson now into the pits as well. It's lap 15.
And here's Paul Ellison. This is not for position. That is Ryan Borboom behind him. And Borboom had some problems early on here. But Borboom is a lap down. Chad Stearns, who we mentioned a little bit earlier, he has caught up to John Kay, has caught up to Jeremy McKinnon. McKinnon, that Castrol Edge truck always looks good, but boy, it looks awful spiffy there with the pink trim.
Agreed.
Stearns tried to scare McKinnon into the bus stop there, but McKinnon powers through. Some interesting chatter going on in the YouTube chat. Thanks for hanging out.
Definitely some interesting chatter.
I'll neither confirm nor deny either of those claims.
Oh, boy.
So Andy Poliski cycled out to 17th here, currently behind Michael Dean. And Michael Dean came into pit as well. So these two...
Ooh. Kyle Dumick just absolutely pounded the wall out of the boot.
And John Kay, who came into pit from third, has put himself in between Chad Stearns and Jeremy McKinnon. And now gets around McKinnon. So interesting strategy here. It seems it's pretty split because Gunter and Reynolds only need to run 5 more laps until they are right on the number to split in half on a one-stop strategy. And the gap between John Kay and Brody Gunter is 45 seconds.
Been monitoring the in-race chat. Been a lot of drivers who have had run-ins with drivers of different speeds and tire lives, all running around each other. Quite a few drivers have been in and out of each other's way and making contact and what have you. Some people feel good about it. Some people don't feel very good about it.
Oh, Jeremy McKinnon! He is around into the boot section of the course. And Stearns was trying to get around him again.
I don't think Stearns was really anywhere near McKinnon. It looked to be a solo spin.
I think maybe McKinnon was just trying to get past Borboom in a hurry to get to the left-hander, and he just overcooked it.
Definitely the case, I think.
Oh, now Salamone goes wide for John Kay. Kay's having to work his way through this group of trucks that's been together the entire night.
No, I don't think cold tires for Jeremy McKinnon. He has yet to come down pit road here. Only seen pit stops thus far from Poliski, Zittel, Kay, Peterson, Dumick, and Lockett. As here is Salamone again to the inside of Roman, trying to hang on to that spot, or rather retake that, what would be the 11th position here. And they swap it again.
And you're right, McKinnon, that was definitely not cold tires. But speaking of McKinnon and cold tires, he will have cold tires now as he's come down pit road.
Whoa, Roman off into the grass. Wow. Yes, hot tires for sure. Not cold tires.
It'll be interesting to see what the gap is that John Kay is able to close in on the leaders here.
I believe he was about 8 seconds behind around the time he came into the pits. But he's had to navigate through a lot. As soon as he came out, he did not come out into a good gap. Whereas Gunther has not really found any traffic of any kind at all.
Yeah, his gap to Gunter has closed by about 4 seconds over the last lap and a half or so. So it seems to be about maybe 3 seconds a lap or so.
Well, now at this point, he's about to go past Jan van Leer to move up into 8th. And there is quite a bit of clear track ahead of him at this point. So now he might be in for.
see where the lap time comes in as he crosses the line.
Oh, yeah, 3 seconds.
Yeah,
Three
that
and
one
a
was
half seconds.
nearly a 155 flat, and you're right. The last lap from Gunter was a 158.7.
So even with having to navigate all that traffic, John Kay still making up big time here on the race leader. But Gunter may have to fight for it a bit when he comes out of the pits, but he will have the benefit of much fresher tires here down the stretch. And I'm assuming John Kay will need to pit a second time. Ryan Dye and Michael Crawl are talking about Regis Philbin in the chat. Shout out to Regis.
Is Regis still alive?
No. No,
Damn.
he has passed away, unfortunately.
That's unfortunate. I brought it up because I actually thought he was still alive. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, R.I.P. Regis.
Yes.
Oh, and Dumig's in the wall, breeding. Oh my goodness, narrowly avoids. But Paul Ellison.
That's the second time he's found that spot. Yeah, Paul Ellison was all over his satellite teammate there as that was happening. Nobody's been down pit road since Jeremy McKinnon came down on lap 16, so we haven't missed anything there. I'm assuming everybody that's still out there, of course, they only need to wait another lap or a lap and a half to be good to the end on one stop.
Interesting that Gunter and Reynolds have been able to actually lower their lap times a bit here. Last lap for Gunter was at 157.1. I mean, that's a second and a half faster than those lap previous to that.
Yeah, he has picked up the pace big time here. Again, maybe just saving a little bit for a situation like this. As he puts lap number 20 up on the board. Knows he's sort of working against a different strategy now. Reigning ASRL Southern Shores Realty champion. Last season it was not a multi-class venture, but he walked away with a lot of gold. Sort of put trucks on the back burner. Of course, he's a real-life Legends car racer as well.
And the man behind him is Nathan Reynolds.
Nathan Reynolds did not put trucks on the back burner last season.
Certainly did not.
The reigning champion in exactly the same position he was last time we were here at Watkins Glen, running in second. Some activity on pit road. Nathan Paluota and Chad Stearns in from the top 10. Ryan Dye threatening to throw a caution, even though he's not in the sim, as far as I can tell. Oh, Nathan Reynolds nearly around there.
I think Reynolds was probably going to come down this time.
I would imagine.
Through the carousel, he had to take that turn so slowly, and he was still hanging on to it on the very outside of the racing surface.
And now he's got Matt Schlosser right behind him, and this would be for position. Schlosser has not been into pit So this would be an outright pass without strategy. Let's see how they play this on pit road.
I think if Reynolds comes in, Schlosser will probably come in as well, but you can kind of fake people out.
Brody Gunter into pit. Reynolds swings wide, but will be coming to pit this time, so will Schlosser.
All right.
Nathan does a good job, an aggressive pit entry there, but puts a little bit of separation between he and Schlosser.
So that will complete 20 laps, and now 20 laps to go, splitting this puppy right in half for the leaders. Paul Ellison also coming down pit road. As Gunter is leaving the pits, John Kay is going to pull up right behind him, or at least be in the same section of the track anyways. So Kay has leapfrogged Reynolds and Schlosser here, but is on 6-lap old tires already. And here, that is a lot.
Certainly. Jan Van Leer, Flanky Roberts, Tyler Logan, Steve Vroman, Michael Dean all on pit road this time. Mark Dillon Jr. now as well.
Yeah, about 10 plus trucks on and off pit road this lap here.
And Caleb McLaughlin was in the chat a while ago. Hello to you. Welcome back. Brandon Gainey running just inside the top 20.
Oh, John Kay's around.
Pit road as John Kay is backwards.
Oh, dear.
Trying to get this truck pointed in the right direction. Oh, boy.
He is going to lose a lot of time and positions now.
There's not really still a good place to get this turned back around.
He's pulled a Kyle Busch and backed it all the way into the corner to try to get turned around here.
Wow, that was unfortunate. That has put him all the way back, I believe, to the 9th position.
Well, I'm going to see if we can see this replay here. And this is this is a trouble spot that we've seen for a lot of drivers here. Out of the carousel, into the boot portion of the track, and he just overcooks it and slides the truck out. We saw it from McKinnon not too long ago. And that wasn't cold tires for Kay.
Will Salamone, Eric Breeding, Cole Maxwell all on pit road. Cole Maxwell actually just exiting the pits. But with that, Brody Gunter, 13-second lead. And that's the second night in a row where it's going to be interesting to see how strategy was going to play out. And all of a sudden, the plug was pulled very swiftly.
Certainly was. Corey Rutherford into pit now along with Kenneth Graves. Unfortunately, I think I've lost Rutherford's camera feed, so won't be able to see him at all tonight. Chad Stearns, who came in early, has leapfrogged a couple of drivers, but now they're trying to get back around him. Ooh. Boy, Salamone just about got all 4 tires off the ground there.
Salamone has just come out of the pits. Tyler Logan's on 1-lap old tires. Salamone has not even made a full circuit yet.
Oh, here comes Logan. I thought Logan was going to try to stuff that nose in the middle there, or in the inside.
Salamone locks up nearly. Gets into the back of Chad Stearns. Had to slow up a bit for Kyle Dumig. Stearns wide loose.
Oh!
It gets really tight. Getting out of the Achilles.
And with all this happening, Steve Vroman's starting to catch this group again as well.
Brody gets her purple lap of the race. 153.6. Salamone going for it into the 90. I bet he'll get it this time. Oh, yeah. Tyler Logan might as well. He'll try to draw even with Stearns into the S's. Difficult place to stay side by side. Steve Roman is going to capitalize. So they both had to slow up. Now Steve rolls out of it.
Big wiggle there from Logan.
It's like he's driving a motorcycle. Big speed wiggles and lockups. Whoa.
Wow.
Yeehaw.
That is a spicy meatball. Logan trying everything he can to get around the 05 here. There goes Logan to the inside. We'll be on the outside here in the next corner.
John Kay back on pit road.
Kay is likely going to lose maybe 4 positions here.
Here comes Jan Van Leer to the inside of Flinky Roberts, trying to move up into 11th. Jan had been hounding Flinky the last lap or so. We'll get the pass done. About 4 seconds to get up to to Eric Breeding.
And Flinky's trying to
He's getting back on it.
Get another top 10 and keep that top 10 streak here at Watkins Glen going in the Venom Truck Series.
And he will have just picked up a spot from John Kay, I do believe.
You know, you wonder without the spin what would have happened, but I think John Kay was on the losing side of this strategy anyways.
I think so.
He wanted to try something. He wanted to try something different. I mean, he knew he didn't have the pace for the 2 in front of him, but I think it's cost him a lot of points here tonight.
Slip up there from Jan. Here's Flinky, and JVL going to give the spot back to Flink here. Turn it into the heel. What one would call maybe a heel turn.
Go ahead, go to the car inside camera for Jan as he's going to try to keep at it here. This is the closest battle on the track, and then Eric Breeding, you can see. Actually, that's not Eric. I take that back.
Cole Maxwell? The pink truck just up ahead of these guys that
yes.
you're talking about? Yep.
Yes.
And you may see a shout of a woo. Speaking of heel turns, the Ric Flair truck back on Cole Maxwell's wrap here tonight. Kyle Zittles yelled woo a couple of times this race when he's gone past Cole Maxwell.
Blinky's starting to gap beyond now.
I mean, he absolutely sent it there through the bus stop.
He certainly did.
A little bit further ahead in fourth place, Andy Polinsky and Luke Peterson have gotten close together here. Peterson inside of about half a second. But solid road course night tonight for old driver number 89.
And Eric Breeding and Kyle Zittel, they are fighting for the 8th spot here. Breeding dives to the inside.
That one closed up in a hurry. These two teammates duking it out here. So they'll get back to the back stretch. And Eric Breeding comes into the night. I mean, he really was having a pretty putrid Daytona last week until a couple of late cautions put him back on the lead lap. He was able to make his way through the chaos. Enters tonight in the top 10 in points and looking to use a road course race to keep himself in the mix here in the point standings. Doing a nice job, as he has done a lot of the road course races of late.
Closest battle now is between Polinsky and Peterson.
And Peterson's actually gotten through on Polinsky just in the last few turns, I do believe.
And these two both seem to be on the John K strategy. Peterson came into pit on lap 14, Polinsky on 13. These two are probably going to come down pit road again at some point.
In about 5 to 8 laps, I think they're going to have to. Brody Gunter managing the gap up front. Still 15 seconds. Back to Nathan Reynolds, who's working through a bit of lap traffic. Matt Schlosser still riding in third. And he is well clear of Luke Peterson. The battle between Reynolds and Schlosser had tightened up just as they were coming down pit road. Reynolds did a nice job gapping Schlosser a bit, but Matt is starting to close back up here, little by little.
Yeah, they're kind of going back and forth right now. Reynolds will get it out to almost a couple seconds, and then Schlosser kind of reel it back into a second and a half or so. Been doing that for 2 or 3 laps now.
Andy Polinsky down pit road. So we said maybe 5 to 8 laps. He decided next time by. Well, hopefully everybody's enjoying the first night on the boot here in Venom Truck Series history. I can think of a couple of drivers who are probably enjoying it quite a bit. Brody Gunter on the back half of this race that he is very much dominated. Nathan Reynolds looking for a second consecutive podium here. Matt Schlosser in his second career start looking for his first podium. Kyle Zittel, Flinky Roberts pretty close together here. Battle for 9th. Luke Peterson has just come down pit road from 4th. So that will give fourth then to Nathan Palawoda. John Kay right now down in the 16th position.
And Peterson here also going to drop down outside of the top 15. Kay is able to make up a couple spots with Poliski and Peterson having to come down pit road. Blanky Roberts is on the move right now, currently sitting in 8th and working on Kyle Zittel.
Yeah, he's been right behind this 53 the last couple of laps. Might be able to make the move here. Leaving the outer loop, headed into, oh, keep it out of the grass. Way wide there, entering the boot.
Wow.
Hangs onto the spot regardless.
We've seen a couple of passes on the outside there. That is, I mean, that's a, but yeah, that is a bold spot to try and make a pass.
Blinky's definitely had the pace to make that move. But pace don't mean jack if you put it in the barriers. But the Flinkster doing a nice job. You mentioned wants to keep his top 10 streak alive here at Watkins Glen. Well, he's finished in exactly 8th position the last 2 races here, as I think Jan Van Leer has just gone for a spin, and he has.
Wow.
So that moves Jan back to 14th.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of positions there. He was sitting 9th, right behind Roberts and Zittel.
And Zittel, speaking of which, has just come down pit road. Yeah, and it was a solo spin for Jan as well. As they run, Brody Gunter, Nathan Reynolds, Matt Schlosser, Nathan Palawoda, and Paul Ellison, the top 5. Chad Stearns right now up into the top 10, running in 9th. Tyler Logan not too far behind him. Good recoveries for Kyle Zittel and Tyler Logan after their cross-up. Zittel, of course, just came down the pits, but we'll have a lot fresher tires here to work with the final 11 laps. Matt Schlosser has pulled back up to Nathan Reynolds. And the report over the radio from Nathan Reynolds, he is having equipment failure. So he is going to let Matt Schlosser go past. He says that he has got a stuck open throttle. That has got to be almost damn near impossible at a road course.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at it. Seems like he's got it maybe fixed now. What's interesting is we saw that last night from Gavin Sanders as well. Oh, maybe
there
not.
There goes Reynolds, yeah. I mean,
We saw almost a very similar issue from Gavin Sanders in Truck 200 last night too. So that's man, that's not good.
Did you see we had our buddy Brad Saxton in the chat?
I did not. Brad Saxton.
Brad is definitely on the payroll, yes, for sure. We pay him to say nice things. But it's great to hear from Brad Saxton.
I was just thinking about the old Super Speedway series today.
Yep, I sure was as well.
Here
we
comes
were
Jan.
about old, oh God, the MDI TV days.
We were.
Right before we came on air. But enough of that. Yes, Jan Van Leer on the march back up through the field. After the spin. And actually not on the march because Andy Poliski has gotten back by. But Poliski on fresher tires. Steve Roman, I think on the same tires as Jan Van Leer.
Yeah, and there's a big group right here together. Peterson and John Kay, Steve Roman, Jan Van Leer. This one could get ugly.
Another small group, not too far ahead of these guys. Flanky Roberts leading Will Salamone and Chad Stearns.
Oh, looked like a little bit of contact between Vroman and Peterson. Peterson fighting back.
Move Luke to 13th. And again, Luke on fresher tires here as well. The same strategy as Poliski. Jeremy McKinnon and Gary Clark have been on pit road the last couple of laps.
Oh, well, I was going to take another look at Sean Kay. We've lost his camera feed as well. It's all blacked out on us.
I think these guys just turned them off. We seem to have cursed all four of our drivers today.
Well, you're not wrong.
Yeah. Usually one of them can squeak by. But not tonight.
Chad Stearns has pulled right up to the back of Flanky Roberts here, and he's bringing Will Salamone right along with him. Stearns, wow, try to get the inside position here. They're coming out of the S's.
What a drive for Stearns already, up 20 positions.
Wow.
Gonna let Flinky send it off into the bus stop all by himself here. Salamone now hounding his former teammate.
I think of all the drivers, Flinky is the fastest through the bus stop. He absolutely flies through there.
Flinky's tired of finishing 8th, I can tell you that much. Running P7 right now, but he has got quite the group behind him. Eight laps to go. Still plenty of battle in here through the top 10, but not so much through the top 5. As Flinky gives up one spot, now is going to give up a second. Stearns and Salamone both go through, and Tyler Logan is right here now as well. So Flinky's got great pace through that first portion of the track, but seems to be a bit behind through the boot. Now going to be under fire from Logan here into the 90. Just like that, Flinky's gone from 7th down to 10th. Poliski on fresher tires, pulling up to Flinky now as well. Big send here into the bus stop. Flinky loose, tags Poliski.
Now Flinky's gonna have to give back some time here.
Certainly is. He wheel hopped it, lost the back end of the truck, turns Poliski, who is himself gathered it up. I think Luke Peterson's the only one that got past Poliski in that exchange. And Peterson now right behind Flinky.
Boy, big group of trucks behind him here as well.
It's not going to get any easier.
John Kay is looking to the inside of Roman. Wow. I'll go back and take a look back there on the incident between Poliski and Roberts when we get a chance. The camera I thought was on them, but was not. It was on the Tyler Logan truck in front of them.
They had just made contact, and Poliski had a little bit of a blink on my screen.
Now this group is caught up to Jan Van Leer, who is in jeopardy of continuing to go backwards. Roman will not send it there. Let's go ahead and see if we can look at this through the bus stop. It was Roberts. Oh, and Flinky got pretty loose headed into the bus stop there, and you're right. Poliski disappears after the contact. I'm not sure Flinky really meant to turn right that hard. I think he just got loose.
No, I do think he had a...
Oh, and now Roman gets loose on entry into the bus stop.
Oh, boy.
That was the exact same situation. Roman was on the outside on entry and ends up going through the grass.
Big send, lock up there for Roman.
Big time loose for John. And Peterson's now gotten around Flinky Roberts. Peterson on 7-lap newer tires.
Oh, Brody Gunter has crashed from the lead. Gunter into the barriers. He has a meatball flag.
No.
Oh, my goodness. Michael Dean, I think, crashed into the race leader. And what has happened here?
Here's the replay. We're through the bus stop. Gunter is behind Dean here. Oh, and Kenneth Graves is in front of them, gets loose and wide, actually goes into the grass on exit of the bus stop, pulls up in front of Dean, so Dean tries to go high, but then Dean gets loose when he tries to get back on the throttle, and then hits the inside wall, bounces off, and then hits Gunter. Wow. That was a very interesting incident.
Brody Gunter down pit road. with a meatball flag. And there goes the new race leader, Matt Schlosser. What a sequence of events that has led Schlosser to be in this position, but the work is not over. Wow.
Wow is right.
Well, no matter how you slice it, Watkins Glen has been remarkably unkind to Brody Gunter. And I believe the required repairs are complete for Brody Gunter, but I'm sure he'll have optional that he would like to fix to be able to drive the truck. So he is probably going to go down a lap here, which will put him at least, at the bare minimum, at 21st.
Luke Peterson in ninth on newer tires has caught Tyler Logan now.
Brody Gunter has exited pit road. Wow. Now I'm just paranoid looking around the track for things that are going wrong. Schlosser, Reynolds, Palawoda now on the podium. Paul Elson and Eric Breeding back in the top five.
Peterson still has not been able to get around Tyler Logan. John Kay is hoping to pick up another position here with Jan Van Leer right in front of him. Only about 3.5 laps to go for these two. Got a bit of a knowledge dropped on us here from Ryan Dye. If
Yes, indeed.
Schlosser holds on, will be the first rookie to win a race in 3 seasons.
Need to black flag Cole Maxwell for spreading misinformation. He says every time that somebody says woo, when he goes past or when they go past Cole Maxwell, that I am personally donating $100 to charity. So people have just been saying woo nonstop the last 5 laps or so. I don't have that much money.
Well, they're saying woo. Will Salamoni's saying boo. Salamoni with a big problem on the last corner, and he has now let Tyler Logan and Luke Peterson by.
Next 7 miles for Matt Schlosser are all that separates him from a win. Working through some lap traffic, but has 20 seconds to burn. Back to Nathan Reynolds, who is struggling with equipment acting up. Nathan Paluota running in 3rd. Brody Gunter is back in 15th right now. Actually, has just dropped the 15th position to Kyle Zittel. I can imagine that that truck is not fully repaired. Probably toe knocked out of it. It's probably impossible to drive. That, man, oh man. I can't get over that.
Wow. Yeah, the bad luck comes in a different form this time, but my
Yes.
goodness. Peterson got around Logan. Peterson's now moved up to 7th. Gained 2 spots in the last lap. And now Salamoni is going to get back around Tyler Logan. Logan really loose out of the 90-degree right-hander into turn 1.
Remember, Luke Peterson is on that 2-stop strategy. Much fresher tires, excuse me. He might have something here for Chad Stearns. At the line, white flag for Matt Schlosser.
Oh, man, we went on board with Luke Peterson, and he is having a whale of a time trying to get the power down. Truck is fishtailing mighty hard.
Breeding in 5th, Stearns in 6th, Peterson in 7th. All very close together here for the final lap. Well, our first night out here on the boot at Watkins Glen, it has certainly provided the thrills and the spills that we were hoping for in often unexpected ways. And there may be no more unexpected outcome than a driver in their 2nd career start taking their first career victory at Watkins Glen Matt Schlosser is going to bring home the checkered flag, give the boot to Cancer, and give the win to Matt Schlosser.
This battle we discussed has not gone away. It's only heated up. Peterson had the nose on the inside of Stearns for one corner. Stearns was able to hold him off. But Peterson gets a good drive. Peterson passes Stearns here. Oh, and now more problems for Stearns as Will Salamone and Tyler Logan to get through.
Man, oh man, what a night.
Schlosser getting a little bit of love there from Corey Rutherford.
Schlosser has been appearing more and more on the channel of late. Found his way into the league, or into the channel rather, through the Daredevil series. While he was waiting for ASRL to open up on Wednesday nights, all of a sudden he's in Truck 200, and all of a sudden we got a message the day before, the day of Daytona, a couple of weeks, or last week. Hey, I think Matt Schlosser is going to be in the Venom Truck Series. Cool, cool. And look how quickly it has paid off.
Yeah, no kidding.
We knew he had the road racing chops, or really just the chops overall. It has run particularly well at the road courses in Truck 200. And now this. Win number 1 in race number 2 of his career. Maybe we're taking care of the truck here. We're not burning it down just yet.
Taking that Ryan Blaney celebration.
Yep. So he rode that horse to victory here. That is for sure. I guess while we await burnouts, we should probably roll through our finishing order. Yep, we'll go ahead and do it. Matt Schlosser, Nathan Reynolds sticks it out for a second place finish. Nathan Palawota, second podium in as many races. Paul Ellison, Eric Breeding, your top 5. Luke Peterson in 6. Will Salamone in 7. Tyler Logan, good job here tonight. Good recovery. Finishes 8th. Blanky Roberts indeed keeps that top 10 streak alive here at Watkins Glen. He finished 9th. Steve Roman rounds out your top 10. Jan Van Leer, Andy Poliski, John Kay, Kyle Zittel, Brody Gunter back in 15th. Garrett Rainey in 16th. Mark Dillon Jr. in 17th. Michael Dean in 18th. Problems for both Chad Stearns and Jeremy McKinnon there on the final lap. Brantley Gainey will finish one down in 21st. Corey Rutherford in 22nd. Tyler Berger in 23rd. Cole Maxwell, Ryan Borboon through the 25th position. Kenneth Graves in 26th. Kyle Tumick 27th. Gary Clark, Zach Lockett, Oz Kanar, Austin Holyfield, Pascal Samard, Paul Sargent, and Ethan Patterson, your 34 drivers who took the green flag here tonight. And the waiting room has filled up. We'll go ahead and talk to our third place finisher first. So he's got back-to-back interviews here on the channel now, or at least on Tuesday nights, as your winner from last week at Daytona follows it up with I believe a best career road course finish in Venom Truck Series competition. Nice job here tonight, Nathan Palawota.
That was a scary one, man. I was hanging on for dear life the whole race. I loved the boot. The boot was so fun. That was my favorite part of the track. Um, I don't know. Last season at Watkins Glen, it was a struggle for me, that's for sure. This time, I had that race under my belt, so I felt a little better going in. I wasn't expecting a third place finish. That sucks for Brody. I heard something happened to him there. Um, that really sucks for him. But it feels good to get third here and hopefully keep my points lead, maybe. But yeah, it was a good race for us.
Absolutely. Matt, what do you got?
Well, you were in the heart of a lot of battles, especially there in the early goings. Talk to me about the setup of the truck, what kind of different problems the boot kind of had for the drivers tonight. We saw a lot of incidents on entry into the boot out of the carousel.
Yeah, the boot, it's a little tricky. Sometimes you kind of forget that it's there, and you're like, "Oh, I gotta make sure I'm hitting the boot here," stuff. So, it was tricky. Really loose today. That was my biggest struggle, the looseness, man. I mean, I was sliding all over the place every lap. I tried to almost enter a little lower to try to keep my rears from spinning as bad and just kind of let my fronts wear a little more, which kind of helped me a bit. But man, it was a slidey race. It was hot and slick. There was so many moments where I thought it was over and I was gonna crash, and I just barely hung on, especially early in the race. It was really slick for me, and I was falling back a lot, but slowly I got into my groove.
Well, nice job here tonight, man. Man, 2 podiums to open up the season. That's fantastic stuff. Anybody want to shout out or say hello to here?
The Skinwalker, Jared Vega, of course. The Skinwalker, Jared Vega, Mr. Patrick Combs, my best friend, for always watching the races and cheering me on. Man, it was a wild one. And congratulations to Matt. I believe it's his first win here in his rookie season. That is really, really impressive.
Yeah, back-to-back first-time winners here to open up Season 7. That's fantastic stuff. So, good luck in practice this week ahead of USA next time around, and maybe we'll talk to you again next week.
All right, have a good one, guys.
Well, we go from last week's first-time winner to the reigning series champion, Nathan Reynolds. Really, truly sticks this one out here tonight with a second-place finish. Congratulations on the P2. What happened? Talk us through that issue that you had there.
That's something out of nowhere, I guess. My pedal just went flat to the floor. I still can't figure out what's wrong with them. I got the V3s and the dampener that I have on it, like the cylinder went out of it, so it's just stuck. And not only is it just floppy, it's stiff, so it's stiff to the floor. So whenever I mash the gas, I blip shift. I don't use a clutch, and I don't, like, I've got it set to, I don't have the auto clutch, so I have to blip shift. And I was having to wrap my toes across the top of the pedal to try to get it to shift. And finally I realized that I could just flat foot shift and use the clutch to get it to go in gear, but I couldn't do it to downshift. And it was a mess. I don't even I don't even know. I'm disgruntled now trying to figure out what I got to do to fix these. Luckily we have an off week.
I mean, that is mighty impressive that you're able to bring it home second, considering all of that. But up until that point, it had been a pretty nice and easy race for you, and another top 3 run for you at Watkins Glen. Running up front early here. What do you think the difference maker was for you early in this one when you were battling with Brody?
Saving too much. I didn't realize that I could push harder and make it. I heard him shifting, and I was fairly certain he was going to run out of gas, so I just kind of let him go and run my own pace and watch my fuel ticker. And I was like, well, I'll pass him when he runs out. So it really caught me off guard and surprised me. I'm not going to say that if I pushed, I would have kept up or been ahead of him, because I think he had everybody covered tonight, but I think it would have been a lot closer, and then maybe we could have pounced on him. But ultimately, I'm just happy to come out of here with what we did. Circumstances prevail, and kind of capitalize on those bad circumstances and make it into a good day. That's the type of runs you look back on when you win a championship and say, well, that could have went bad and it didn't, and that's why we are where we are, and thankful to fight on another day.
Matt, what do you got?
Well, congrats on the P2, and congrats on hanging on to P2 after all the issues you've had. That's kind of crazy, but you mentioned strategy a little bit right there. I was curious if you and John had talked about strategy much, because obviously John took the two-stop strategy and ended up having an issue, so we didn't really get to see how it would have played out, but was that going through your mind heading into this race at all?
Yeah, starting the race, I think everybody was pretty well on a two-stop strategy. That was definitely what we were talking about. And then kind of as the race went on and I started realizing, well, I'm just as fast running third gear in the final two corners and shifting to fourth early, going up to the S's and staying in third here and there. I'm like, well, I feel like I'm saving a little gas. And I started watching, it started climbing. And so that changed for a few of us there. And then there were others who just stuck to the strategy, and so yeah, we were two-stopping it the whole way from the beginning, and then kind of adapted on the fly.
Well, nice work tonight, and extra nice work to bring it home in P2. Anybody you want to shout out or say hello to here? You certainly earned it tonight.
Yeah, I thank my wife for taking care of the kids and getting them in bed early. I heard Bentley crying here just a minute ago, so I'm sure she's in there handling that. And, Nitro Racing Setups and all those guys at Nitro Setups, where to go get your open sets. NASCAR Report, season's almost over, and a lot of news and stuff going on. And I'll go ahead and thank Fanatec customer service ahead of time, because I'm sure I'll be burning up the phone line this week.
Absolutely, and best of luck in getting all that sorted out. But nice work here today.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
And now we get to talk to our first-time winner for the second week in a row. It was in career start number 16 last week for for Nathan Palawota. Matt Schlosser tonight gets it done in start number 2. What a drive! Wow. Congrats on the win, man. That's fantastic.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate it. Definitely some luck to be here. I know Brody was dominating. It sounds like he had some trouble. He picked up a meatball flag. A couple other guys were fast and had a couple issues. So all of a sudden I just kind of inherited the lead, and, just kind of, I was a little nervous. I just looked down. I was leading. I was like, "Oh wow, I gotta hold it together here," because I'm first time winning one of these things. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, it was a really fun race. Love the boot. It was a good time. Definitely a good race.
Well, we knew you had the road course pace watching you on Monday nights in Truck 200. So we knew coming in, especially watching your practice times, you were right up there. Obviously, you qualified third. Anytime you can hang with Nathan Reynolds, you're doing something right. And even it seemed like at the end of the long runs there that you were sort of tracking Nathan down even before he started having those issues. How were you able to keep such good long run pace when it seemed like most other people were struggling?
Yeah, I think I just have a better feel on older tires maybe than newer ones. I feel like if I had to choose if everyone being on old tires or everyone on new tires, I'd pick old. It just kind of feels more natural. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it usually kind of comes back to me on the end of the runs, and then people usually leave me again on the beginning of the runs. Like John Kay was past me and was leaving me there in the beginning. So yeah, I mean, I think it just kind of maybe my imperfect driving style works out for it. I don't know, but it luckily it was good enough today.
I was gonna say your imperfect style was the perfect style to get it done here tonight. Matt, what do you got for Matt?
Wow, big congratulations on the win, only on your second race here in the Venom Truck Series. I know a lot of the guys are excited to have some new blood and have you in the series with them. Now that you have a win under your belt, what are your kind of expectations and goals here for the rest of the season?
Yeah. First off, thanks to everyone for extending the invite. It's, a really cool group of guys that I've done some racing with in other leagues, and really awesome to be here. And yeah, for expectations, I mean, I just want to try to, get as many good finishes, maybe try to hang around the top 10 in points. Luckily, I feel pretty good on road courses, but there's a lot of tracks, super speedways and, other places that I'm not so hot. So I'm going to hopefully try to get some solid finishes there, maybe try to hang around the top 10 in points if I can. And, just try to finish on the lead lap every week and do my best there. So, yeah.
I know you've been putting the boots to the pavement this week, trying to get some extra bodies in interstellar sim racing ventures. I think this ought to be some pretty good advertising for you.
Yeah, I put the logo on the truck, so hopefully people are like, "Hey, what's that?" And maybe they'll want to join. But yeah, shout out to my teammate Zach for jumping on. I know it's just a random new team. If people want to join, we're just gonna have a good time. Nothing crazy. So, hopefully maybe one or two more people, if they need a team, will come check us out.
Well, you've thanked the league already. You thanked your teammate Zach. Anybody else you want to say hello to or shout out here from the top step? You certainly earned the time here tonight.
Yes, yeah, I'll say hi. I don't know if my wife's watching. She probably fell asleep, but maybe I'll say hi. Maybe I'll turn the replay on her and surprise her so she'll see I said hi to her. But yeah, that's it. Nothing else.
Nice job here tonight, partner. First of many, hopefully. With pace like this tonight, I think we're certainly in for more of that. So, congrats, man. Go party hard. We'll talk to you again here real soon.
Heck yeah. Cool. Good talking to you. See you later.
How about it? 2 first-time winners in 2 races. What an absolute bang-up start to Season 7.
Yeah, that was wow. That was something right there. We were expecting a good race, but we had a lot of action and some unexpected action, unfortunately, for some of the drivers here in this one as well. But yeah, a couple of really strong races to open up the season here, and then we have kind of, I think, uncharted territory, possibly taking the trucks to USA International next week. Oh boy. Or I guess that'll be 2 weeks from now. We are off next week, but the next race will be at USA. That is going to be quite something.
On paper, it's a good track to host a truck race at. It's a paperclip. It's 3/4 of a mile. Have you ever driven the truck there, though? That's the question I pose to each and every one of you out there in Turn 200 lane. Go give it a spin. Put the Richmond setup on the truck. That's where we're going to be at in 2 weeks. It's really going to be something. I am very, very much looking forward to it. It is going to be a challenge, though, for sure. Yes, a lot of racing on the channel between now and then. We'll just give you the next week. Tomorrow night at Jerez, it is the ASRL Southern Shores Realty Sports Car Championship for 2 rounds of racing over in Spain. Then Thursday night for the Maximum Velocity Racing League truck racing action at North Wilkesboro. Then on Sunday afternoon, it is the solo Tommy Cook special. No, please, I promise the racing will be good. Gosh, where are we at? Oh, yeah, the Nürburgring for 3 laps of racing, which will take over 20 minutes. Ridiculousness. It sounded like a race today, actually, on Tuesday, went official with 11 cars, and it sounded like 5 of them finished the race. So that should let you know, clue you in a bit to what we're expecting on Sunday afternoon. Then it is the season finale of Truck 200 on Monday night from Michigan. And yes, Venom Truck Series fans will remember 2 incredible Michigan races that we have had in our time broadcasting the Venom Truck Series. That is what we are in for on Monday night with Truck 200. And again, off next Tuesday night for the Venom Truck Series. So enjoy an extra time off, or an extra time off. How about an extra week away? And before we really close up shop here tonight, Matt Williamson, we had a lot of people chatting with us here tonight.
We certainly did. Always like to shout out the people that chat with us here throughout the races. Always interesting to see. There were quite a few interesting comments here tonight, but we'll shout out Michael Carl, Jacob Nagy, Savage Toy Show, The Spotter for Flinky Roberts, Rebecca Mrs. Woda cheering on Nathan, Ryan Dye, Brad Saxton. Good to hear from Brad here tonight. And I know I'm missing somebody. Oh, Caitlin McLaughlin was in here earlier, and then Rodney Matney right at the top of the show. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in and watching. And if you haven't yet, please think about subscribing or telling somebody to subscribe if you think they might like it, or use an alt account. That works as well. On our way to 500 subscribers, and we have some good stuff coming up when we hit that number.
Absolutely. Lots of good stuff coming up here the next couple of weeks, couple of months. Hope that you'll be a part of it. We hope to see you at least back here in 2 weeks for the Venom Truck Series at USA International. But until we meet again, for everybody here with the Venom Truck Series, for the GOATs, undisputed, the one and only Mr. Matt Williamson, I'm Tommy Cook. Until we meet again, we say so long from virtual Watkins Glen International, where Matt Schlosser pulls off the unthinkable with the victory in his second career start.